Good morning, afternoon, night, whenever you guys are watching this video. Welcome to the channel. All right, today I need to clean the garage. It is a huge mess. I'm glad that you guys are here with me today. A couple things that I wanted to announce on the channel, a couple things that potentially are coming, and I wanted to just say thank you guys to people who have been subscribing. It's hard to explain. I make videos. I'm not very good at making videos yet. I'm trying. I don't really have the funds that are needed to be able to put out the regular content. So having people still subscribe, even though I haven't put out a video in like a month, it's really awesome to see, and it does put wind in my sails. So I'm glad that you guys are here. Glad you guys have picked on this video. And I do hope that you guys watch some of my other videos, and I do hope that you guys are enjoying and you subscribe and stick around for more. So we're gonna go ahead and do an update on what's going on with the channel. I got some updates on the truck. Good news for that, hopefully, fingers crossed. So first things first, I need to clean the garage. So the car right now, my Fiesta ST, that needs an oil change really bad. There's two reasons why I do not do oil changes myself. One is service records. So I want there to be a service record at the dealership in case I ever sell it. So I make sure that I just have them do the service. It's easy, it doesn't cost too much money, and it just makes it so that if I ever sell it, there is constant service records for the vehicle. I'm not gonna do this for all of my vehicles. I'm not gonna get the truck serviced at the dealership anymore. I'd rather have it serviced at a diesel repair shop. So we're gonna do that with the truck, or with the car today. So I gotta clean the garage so that I can get it in here, because I'm not gonna be able to get an oil change for a couple days, so I can't drive it. Luckily, if you guys know on my channel that the truck has been down, it is back up again, and I'll give you guys some updates on that. But let's take a look at this garage, because Christmas tornado has hit my garage, and it's kind of ended up being a dumping ground for things. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this cleaned up so I can bring the car in here. I'll pull the truck in the driveway, and I'll give you guys some updates on that. Another thing that I want to show you guys is regular maintenance that you must do on your 6.0. I've never seen anybody mention this yet, but I have looked on forums. I've looked all over when I started to have the problem with my truck, and it doesn't seem like people are doing this, and they're only getting on the forums and they're only talking about this stuff after it's already started causing a problem. So if you have a 6.0, if you get on top of this first and you stay on top of it, as kind of regular maintenance, then I don't think that you're gonna have this problem, and potentially end up saving you on some parts that you may not need to replace. I'm not saying that it'll never go bad, but you may be able to prolong the life of the part that we're gonna be talking about today. So I'm gonna go ahead, clean this up. We'll go ahead and, get into it. All right, there we go. 10 minutes to clean the garage. That's not bad. See, everything's out of the way, cleaned up a little bit. So let's go ahead and pull the car in, and we will get to the truck. It's always a good thing about having a little car is that even though I have a little garage, I could still fit ATV, still fit my tiny little car, a lot of space on this side. pretty tight fit over on this side, but that's okay. All right guys, so what I want to show you today is the 6.0 exhaust back pressure sensor. Okay, so after I got the truck out of the shop, I got new injectors on the truck. So I got 8 new injectors. Truck still did not start. I had a shop install it just to make sure that they were installed, because as you guys remember, it broke down. Then my truck got towed from where I had it parked. So the truck got towed and it was broken down. I could not get it started. I had to get it out of the tow yard immediately. You know, they were gonna charge me per day. Pretty expensive. So, you know, I was in a really rough spot with what I was gonna do. You know, I figured out a way, and shout out to the person who was able to help me on that, gave me a loan to be able to get them fixed. So we ordered the injectors, took it to a shop, had the shop fixed, you know, slowly paying off that loan. So, you know, again, shout out. I know this person likely will be watching, so, you know, I appreciate it, you know, bottom of my heart. So I got the truck back and it was starting good. Well, let me back up. So we got the injectors in the truck. The shop called me, said that it still would not start. They believed it might have been a fuel injection sensor. They weren't really sure. And so they tried to throw a new FICM in it, the fuel injection control module, and it worked. So they told me, this is our loaner FICM. It's a new FICM. We can take it out, or we can sell you this one. So I just went with, it was already in there, it was running, it was, you know, everything was going on. So I had them leave it, paid for it, got the truck back. Obviously when they did the repairs, they, you know, disconnected the battery, you know, the computer and everything was still doing its whole checking on its tests and everything like that. So no check engine light. They drove it around, they tested it, you know, everything they reported on was fine. So I picked the truck up. It starts really well. It was running good. And then the check engine light popped up. So that was the exhaust back pressure sensor. So I've been doing some research on how to get this fixed. Obviously the sensor itself is easy, but I started to run into some different issues. I was getting the P0299. I made a video on that. I was still getting that sometimes. I was getting P0069, which is a map sensor for the barometric sensor. So I was getting that. I still may be getting that. I'm not sure. I did reset the computer after I put the exhaust back pressure sensor in. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys kind of what I was dealing with, and something that you can do on your 6.0 that you should be checking and constantly cleaning so that this doesn't become an issue for you. Because once the air and once it got cold outside, the air was a lot colder and I believe lighter. If I'm, you know, I think warm air is, cold air is denser. I'm not sure. Anyway, once it started to get cold, that's when these sensors kind of started having an issue. I noticed some serious turbo performance with the truck. So what I did is, you know, obviously I didn't want to buy an exhaust back pressure sensor. I saw that you can kind of clean them out. You know, they get really built up with carbon. So I was like, all right, let's go ahead, take it out, see how bad it was. And it was awful. Okay, so let me show you. So here's the old sensor. I did finally just get a new one because I took this out. I tried to clean it and I reinstalled it in the truck. The code did change, but it still was having issues. It actually was performing worse. So I hope you guys will be able to like see in this, but it's like straight black and the carbon was built up all the way to the tip. So it was caked with carbon. Okay. So I tried to clean it out. Obviously I couldn't see how well I got it in there. I was afraid to put any carb cleaner or anything in here to try to clean it out better because I didn't want it to ruin the sensor. I'm still not sure if you can, but you know, you can get in there with like a wire coat hanger and, you know, try to clean it out. But if you stay on top of this and you continuously, like, you know, clean it out every, you know, let's say when you do an oil change or something, it's not that difficult to get to this sensor. And then this is connected with a tube that goes into the intake. Now what I did, so I went to Walmart, I bought their cheapest wire hangers. Now you can see that these are white. The reason why they're white is they're kind of, so they're coated in this plastic material, which the plastic is fairly rigid, and it is fairly flexible as well. So what I did, now that I tried to, I couldn't get the tube off. So I cleaned the sensor with that, or I cleaned the sensor, I took it off, I cleaned the sensor with one of these and trying to, you know, dig it out and stuff. But what I did is I took the wire out of this stuff right here, okay? Because the hanger itself was not flexible enough to go down the tube. But once I took the coating off of the hanger, so this is just the coating, there's no wire inside here. See, it's still rigid, but it's still flexible enough to go all the way through. So after that, I was able to stick this down into the tube, and it was able to curve and flex, and you can see, you know, just the tip. It was cleaning out a bunch of carbon, and this is actually wiped off. So I kept using the same one. I would take a towel, stick it down there, wipe it off, stick it down there, wipe it off. I did it a bunch of times until it was going through really, really smooth and not as dirty on the way out. Now, another thing that I saw online that you can do, so I was taking this part of the hanger and I was going from the map sensor hose that goes on to the engine, and if you take that hose off, you can actually stick this down there and clean that out too. So that means that the air is, you know, not getting blocked to the map sensor, so that that's able to read correctly. So because I was getting the map sensor code, I tried this as well. But then I also cleaned out that tube. I don't think that I got the exhaust back pressure sensor clean enough. So I just bought a new one to see if that was going to help with my issue. Disconnected the batteries, turned the headlights on, reset the computer, put a new one in. They're not too hard to get rid of, but it is easier if you take the air intake off and you take the coolant degas bottle. If you kind of like take that off its mount and kind of move it over a little bit, then some of those hoses that are coming from that degas bottle will actually kind of be in the way. So if you kind of just, you don't have to drain the coolant or take any of the lines off, you just kind of take it off its mounting, move it over, you're able to, you know, get in there. So, so far, just putting this in, obviously clearing the codes, no check engine light has came back on yet, but just clearing the codes, taking it for a drive with the new sensor, my turbo is performing much, much better. Like I said, the truck is running a lot better. It starts up every time. It's got the fuel injection control module, the new injectors, you know, everything on it. It starts in the cold. It has no issues. You know, it's getting really good start. So hopefully I don't have to replace the map sensor, but that is coming back again. Or I don't know if it's going to come back again, but if it does come back again, next thing I'm going to do is replace the map sensor. Then the next thing I would do would be replacing the barometric sensor. I think that's right, barometric, something like that. But that was the codes that I was getting. So, I mean, like I said, it does start up. I was driving it last night. Sorry, I dropped a mask. I was driving it last night, and it was running good. So let's say if we can get this to start up again. So it's not too cold outside, sun's kind of out, but I think it's like 35 or something like that. And I don't think the OBD2 sensor, and I don't think any of that stuff is red yet. I think it's still I think it still needs to go through all its checks. So let's see if starts right up. Beautiful. That's a first start of the day, cold start. So I'm gonna pull it in the driveway. I'm gonna show you guys under the engine with the exhaust back pressure sensor. You know, I'm gonna show you guys all that. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let it warm up for a little bit. But yeah, it's running great. Here's another thing that I wanted to see if you guys knew anything about. If you know anything about it, let me know in the comments. That would be great. I would greatly appreciate that. So just sitting here in the truck, this did happen. You can see the idle does raise a little bit more than it would on a regular idle. So if I let the truck kind of sit here and warm up, it does do this. So I don't know if this is normal, but it does start to raise a little bit. Now, if I press, and it might just because it's cold and the engine's just trying to warm up, I am not sure, but if I press on the brakes just a little bit, it will go right back to normal. So I don't even have to like give it any like pressure. It's just like a tap and it goes back down to normal. I don't know if that's normal. If that is normal, you know, let me know. It is cold. This is the first winter that I've had it, so that may just be a normal thing just to help it warm up. You know, I'm not really sure. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. Let's go pull this into the driveway. I'll let it warm up a little bit more, but I'll pull it up into the driveway. We'll take a look at the engine and we'll kind of call it from there. I do have some more videos that I am going to be making, so please stay tuned with that. Go ahead and subscribe. Hopefully I can continue to bring content. Like I said, I do appreciate all the subscribers that I've had to the channel. While I have not been making videos, I'm almost at 80, which I know seems super small and insignificant, but to me it's really cool because I have not used any other platforms to promote this channel. I only use YouTube, and I'm hoping that people are finding my videos organically and choosing to subscribe organically instead of, you know, having like an artificial push or having people push from other platforms, because I don't use other platforms. I really just like YouTube. So I'm hoping that, you know, people are enjoying the content and enjoying what's to come, because the truck hopefully is running good and it's ready to go, and we can actually start doing some fun stuff to it instead of just, you know, dealing with all the crap that I've been dealing with this truck, because it's been an absolute nightmare. My lady absolutely hates it at this point. But you know, we're gonna be wrapping it. I'm gonna be doing some window tinting. I do have a video coming up. Hopefully it comes up today. I might spread the videos out a little bit, so it may be coming up this week, but hopefully you guys stick around. Hopefully you guys like that content. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the engine bay. All right guys, so to get to that sensor, I mean, you're gonna find tons of videos on how to do this, but to get to that sensor, the easiest way I found, take this off. I took this off as well, only to here. I didn't take it off the turbo, but I just took it off to here so that I could take these two out, just move these over a little bit, because what you're looking for is right there. So right there. So that's what you're looking for. That sensor, obviously some of these hoses get in the way, so moving this does definitely help. But yeah, if you move this, get this out of the way so that you can move all that around. That sensor is pretty easy to take off. It is an inch, so it is a 1-inch socket if you have a deep socket, or I just use a crescent wrench, and then that is a 5/8 under it. So you put the 5/8, and then you can get the sensor out, which again is just an inch socket or wrench or crescent wrench, whatever. It is a little difficult to kind of get in there, get your hands in there, but you know, once you get it. And then that is the tube right there. So that tube, if you have everything, if you have the sensor off, and you use that little trick, then you can go ahead and you can push all of that carbon out there, kind of get that cleaned up. And if you do that on a regular basis, So if you do that on a regular basis, it probably will prolong that sensor and make it a lot easier. You know, once you kind of get in there a few times, it's easier to access and take off and do all that stuff. You know, I've done it a couple times now, but you know, I definitely recommend doing that. So, you know, hopefully this helps. You know, if you have a 6.0, go do it now. You know, just take 45 minutes and, you know, clean it out. You know, you might actually even notice it runs a little better, because that sensor is actually really important for the turbo, as I'm starting to realize. So yeah, that is the update on the truck. Took the fender flares off. I'm getting ready to wrap it. Hopefully that comes soon. So if you guys like the content, if you guys like the video, go ahead and subscribe, shoot it a thumbs up, comment if you have anything to add on this video, tell me that I'm wrong, you know, tell me if you have any more suggestions for the 6.0, that would be awesome, because I'm learning every day and I'm trying to figure out exactly how I can make this truck last as long as possible. It does have 312,000 miles on it at this point, so every little thing I can do to baby this truck and make it last longer, that would be amazing. So hope you guys like the content. Video going to be coming up shortly, and hopefully videos to follow, so definitely get down there and hit that subscribe. Thanks guys, hope you have a Merry Christmas, or had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.